Just click on my name, and that way you can send a DM to me. Let's see, Davin. Let's do.
Oh, let me turn the stream on. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Whenever you're ready.
just looking at my screen, wondering why I pushed my ignition button. All right, hold on.
Probably rolled your hand over it when you made a
It
turn.
was just dumb. It was just dumb. Like it's
You
anyway.
know it's a meme inside his head right now.
Yeah, I'm just so angry. I'm just so angry. All
Now I
right.
don't feel
Everybody
so
join
bad.
the stream if you can. Just click on Davin's name. You'll see the stream pop up, and then click on follow stream or whatever it says.
Before we start, I just have to say, what a freaking sunrise on this track, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's enough to kill
Blinding.
you.
How's
It's
the
enough to
weather?
kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready, Mr. D?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, car 59, 1140.
Okay, car 59. Where are we? 1140. Nope. Not close enough. Let's see. Get me back here. Make sure we're recording the
Here's
thingy.
Davin.
Yeah, there we are. All right, let's take this off.
And bring up the hood if you. Nope, we don't have to.
No, I think we're gonna have a touch other than
He said it was game-ending race
Oh.
or game contact.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
was.
Right
Most
about.
definitely.
Oh
Totally
my God.
bad.
Oh.
Oh no.
Uh,
Why? Okay.
Oh!
No,
Oh.
I saw the thing. It's the same disaster no matter what we look at. All right, let me see here. Let me get a car 37 because there's a lesson here that's really important for everybody. We're gonna go inside his
Don't hit what
car.
you can see.
Don't hit what you can see.
Yes,
But there's
sir.
another predictive thing that's really important. Know where your car is going to go. Because when we are here, okay, so we're gonna go out here. We're gonna go.
Your radar should have been on to be able to see this car next to you.
So we're at turn
Yeah,
12.
I saw him. Yeah, I got on the gas, and then, anyways, you'll see him.
Yeah, we're at turn 12, right? It's a decreasing radius corner. There's a field out there. There's no runoff. So a move around the outside or setting up for the outside is going to be risky if you're far back because you don't have enough pavement to roll, right? Now, inversely, trying to do a switchback so close to this car is also risky because your car is long and his car is long. So unless you are over more to the right to give the car in front of you time to rotate so you can get underneath him, you are too close to the car next to you to do anything but either stop or hit him.
Not to mention, there's a whole bunch of people coming for
Yeah.
waiting long enough to do an over and under.
Yeah. Plus, we are on like lap, I don't know, like 3. So
4.
we have 24 other laps to do anything you want to for a move of this high risk, right? I did a move on Lazama at like the very, very end because I was so mad I just threw it off the track. But that was like with 2 laps to go, right? But here, it doesn't make any sense because we've got so much time left over that you don't need to take this risk to your car. So we're going to go slow. So he's ahead of you now. He hasn't gotten through the corner yet. And we've just
got on the
rear-ended
throttle
him.
too early.
Yep. So, I mean, we could have just stayed off the throttle and coasted behind him because we know if we're in the green car, there's no way I have any way to make this car disappear. So there's no way for me to get a roll anywhere, to use any momentum anywhere because this pink and purple car is now in my way, right? So we have to know when we've lost and just reset and start over rather than trying to start a fight that makes no sense.
Live to fight another day.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fight you didn't even need to have to start, right? Because there was no fight. There was nothing, and unfortunately, because you're so close to so many of these other cars, right? You push the Ferrari into traffic. So it's not you. You shoved him into traffic. And then now this car is dying and this car is dying and all these other cars are dying. And it's unfortunate, right? Because we've just murdered like half our friends. So the first rule is know where your car is going to go. The second rule is don't hit what you can see. And your third rule is that it is okay to just give up and start over because you have plenty of time.
Alrighty, let's see. Bobby threw me one. I'll hang on to that later. Let's go to Lewis. Sent me one. Car 555 at 10:03. He
I'm
hit
sorry, I
Cool
was
Money.
muted. Can I say something real quick?
Oh,
Sure,
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That contact actually didn't cause this pile up because I'm the next car back, and we would have cleared that, but somebody behind us actually hit us.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
There's 25 cars coming. What did you
Yeah,
expect?
exactly.
Well, I
Exactly.
think it's actually before we even get into the corner. It's like at the start of the corner. If
Oh,
you go back to
Yeah, let's go back up. Oh, well, this is happening back here. This is
yeah,
whatever
back.
whatever's happening to this car. That's probably where are we on? We're on the 20.
Yeah, because the white car is going to get pushed into me, I think.
Let's see, where's the 18? So here's the 18. So we're gonna go farther back. There's Ron. Ron being aggressive. All right. Pop out. Let's see if it's Ron. All right. A little bit of that is Ron. Actually, a
I'm
lot of
just
that is
here
Ron.
touching another car.
Yeah, actually,
We're
all of that
probably
is
gonna
Ron.
this
Oh,
is probably
wow.
half of what we're gonna look at.
Yeah,
shortly.
actually, you were right. That is Ron. Same deal, right? Just different outcome, equally as bad.
Yeah, right. I was on mute. I was trying to. Yeah, that's the one I was trying to apologize
Oh
for
my
on the
God.
first thing. I was
Yeah.
coming 3 wide into it, and I missed my I don't know. I was 3 wide
your
coming into
braking?
turn 12, and I
Yeah.
missed the break point entirely.
Yeah.
And it was really crowded, and I just
Yeah.
piled into everybody.
Yeah,
So it was
so-
Yeah,
totally
because
me.
I tried to go super wide to stay away from it, and I still got stuck in it.
So everything I said again, but just being on the inside rather than the outside. Same rule, same deal. Same problem, right?
And all you guys remember, when you're in a train and you do something, it's going to turn into a derailment for a bunch of cars.
Yeah.
So that's why it's better to be safe on the opening laps and let everybody kind of sort themselves out instead of.
Yeah.
What did I say? You got to leave your space.
So what's the solution on this one, Davin? 13 should have been less aggressive, right?
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
the break point for let's go back. The break point for going into 12.
The other
when
thing
you're-
too is more anticipation.
Yeah, I mean the break point going into 12 is back over around here in the curving
Just
area.
like right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where the 144 is, right? So we're still kind of on and off the brakes here. So like we've gone on the brake. I'm gonna load this out. We've come off the brake, so we're not really maximizing our braking anymore. So we haven't like
And
decided to come to
offline.
stop. Now we've gone on the brake again because we've realized we screwed up terribly, and now it's too late, and we're just grabbing gears, hoping we don't hit anyone. And these cars are just gonna be caught by surprise. And now we're here, right? So this move doesn't really work unless you're like near the break point of the car that is braking in its right point and actually braking a little earlier and using momentum to get in the corner. I did the same thing like right at the end of the race because I was angry, so I just jumped on the brakes once, and it just like it was never gonna work. It was just never ever gonna work, right? But yeah, a little bit earlier braking, and also just like risk management, right? Like what am I gonna gain in what position are we in right now? 27th. That is worth this amount of risk. Not a lot, because we've got a lot of time left. So
Hey, Ron, why were you modulating the brakes?
I think what happened is if you go back even further, so I was pissed off because I qualified really badly, I thought, right? And so I was being way too aggressive. And then I can't remember, but I didn't know it was quite as crowded up in this corner, but I thought I might be able to get on the inside of a guy, but then I got, oh, there's another guy there. And so we were 3 wide coming there. And then I was just trying to like find a spot, and I'm not sure why I went off the brake.
Well, it looked like you broke too early and you were trying to make up for it is why you started modulating.
I did
maybe
I did the same thing in the silver race Tuesday. So I went into the turn 11, which apparently is my cursed corner because every time I get there, something stupid happens to me. And I got squeezed on the brakes. And so I got on the brakes really hard to not hit this car. And then he got off the brakes. And out of like reflex, I got off the brakes because I was like, oh, I'll just roll up next to him to just stop that from happening again. But we were so deep into the corner that I can't do anything anymore. And I just rolled into the car in front of me. Right. So I think part of it's a little bit of habit of like, I think I might be able to modulate to make it fit when we're really just going too fast. And, it's hard because if you come to a stop here, you're either going to get rear-ended or you're gonna have cars driving around you, and both those kind of suck. So it's like racer instinct to try to make the best out of a bad situation, but we actually end up making a bad situation worse. So,
All right, let's roll a little further into the race tonight instead of hanging around here and turning 12.
Yay.
Car 23 and 93 at the 34:30 mark in the chicane.
34, 30. All right, we'll call it here. Do-do-do-do.
Wow, look at the early turn in there. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Man, I hate seeing this head right now. Oh dear.
Why? Whoa.
Well, I mean, like,
where did he come from?
yeah. I mean, Sika, good job not reacting to that, because that was smart.
Yeah.
But if we go back to the car behind him, I think this is kind of what we were talking about with Boyd a little earlier today about being too close. I just want to be it from in his car.
Yeah,
'Cause
this
we-
is a super risky place.
This
Wow.
is a super risky place to pass. The risk though is a little bit mitigated on two sides. Okay, so the car in the back is never going to make it, and we're not even going to talk about that. The car in front, though, Sika, you could come over just a little bit more and just take a Ferrari's amount of space away, because we're probably trying to cover the inside a little bit because of the early turn in from earlier, but you've given him enough of an invitation to try something. Because if you slow down a little early or just make a big old flub of the chicane, he could maybe try to roll up next to you, depending on what you do right here, right? This is one of those gambles where you go, maybe he'll jump on the brake and get scared and see me, and I'll just clear him. I mean, it is 1 out of 10 this is going to work, but maybe, right? And that could have been mitigated by just being over like 6 inches and just not giving him a Ferrari's worth of space to slide
Yeah,
up next
just
to him.
enough to close the door to keep him from going down that slot.
Could it have been evasive?
Nope.
No, because
There's nothing to
he's
evade.
inside to block.
Yeah, there's
No,
nothing.
I mean, whoever the back one is. I mean, he was going deeper in, so he didn't want to hit him, so he went to the right. He still made the corner, didn't he?
Yeah, but look how early there he's on the brakes there, not
Yeah.
way back behind
Yeah,
when he moves over.
Yeah, that's my point. So either A, we have followed the car behind us too closely and moved over, and then realized we're by our braking point too late, and we're just lucky we didn't die. Or B.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Right.
Well, at least he speaks and
Because
says,
I
"Yeah,
was
the
going to
truth
give
has
you
been
credit. I
spoken."
was just going to be like, oh, we're just trying to gamble, but okay, right? So part of that is backing your brake up, your braking point up a little bit. We're gonna go.
Right there, he moves
right there.
over, and there's no braking at all.
Yeah. So here would have been a great place to get on the brakes, because you're
shit.
you're safe, right? It's going to be a little sketch, but you'll be safe, right? And the car on the inside is always going to be on the inside, and so you'll never hit him. And so if Sika's slow, you'll just get him out of the second chicane. And if Sika gets to the corner with any sort of speed, then it's fine. You were just in the spot you were in before, so you don't lose anything, right? But following really, really close is risky, because the brain can only really react at like 0.2 of a second. So if you follow too close to the car in front, then that's why following closely to back markers is so risky, because they break unexpectedly and it takes your brain a little bit of time to realize what's happening, and then you run into the back of them. So you have to sit off to the side of them. So when they do something silly, you're like, oh, that was silly, as they go flying by you rather than right into you, right? Same thing here when you're chasing another car. If you're too close and don't have a plan, slow down and get a plan, right? Because reaction time never is your friend. You always react when you're too late. So
yeah, no, I got you for sure.
There are times where I'll come off the corner and I'll catch someone and I literally don't know what to do with it. So I'll just back out of it and kind of reset and start over. Like I'll be like a dog chasing a car. I'll just come out of the corner and be like, woo! And then I'll get there and I'll be like, well, I can't get by him and I can't get, oh, okay. And just roll right off the throttle and get back online and get right behind him again. Because I can't get by, so what's the point of this, right? Staying close is not going to get me a position farther, because this is 6th place, and this is 6th place, and this is still 6th place, and this is still 6th place, and this is still 6th place. So we almost wrecked our car for literally no change of position. So it's not worth the risk for that amount of aggression, because you're not getting anything.
Yeah, definitely. No, I had been following behind you pretty fine the whole time. I was just after this, I had a terrible pit stop, so it's a little pissed off, and that's kind of why I wasn't really focusing properly. But
You know,
Okay,
yeah,
I will hug you out of empathy of the random anger of things happening to you for no reason. Yeah, I feel you
you can
there.
feel my pain a little bit
I
there.
do. My pain's a little worse than yours because I've had 6 months of getting run into, and this was like the smoothest race I've ever had. And then 10 minutes to the end, and my car just turns off because I turned it off, and I'm like, cool, way to go, Devin. Thanks for self-sabotaging yourself. That's awesome.
I wanted to overtake you, Devin.
All right.
but
Well, I made it really
you-
easy by just turning the
you-
car off. Just like,
Yeah.
you know the worst part?
It was fun to
you know-
watch in the race. I can tell you that. We were like, "What's he doing?
You know the worst
What's
part?
he doing?"
You know the worst part? You know the part that actually makes me so angry is that I dropped 7/10 right after that. So I was under driving most of it because I wasn't going to catch the leader. And so I was even angrier because I turned the car back on and I went faster. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Oh, my God. So, yeah.
Okay,
Mind if
so
I add
let's
something?
see.
What's up?
Share
Mind
what's
if
up.
I add? I'd say it's a good idea to always brake earlier than the car ahead because you're anyways gonna catch up with them because you have your slipstream. So you're not really gonna lose a lot of time, or you're gonna lose a lot of time. You're gonna lose some time because you're following someone, but relative to the car ahead of you, you're not really gonna lose a lot of time if you back up your braking because you're gonna get it back in the straight.
Yeah, you nailed it. Like the 2/10 you lose on the entry is like fuck all nothing, to be frank. Right? Like no one will notice and or care, and your car is safe and in one piece. Where like trying to brake late literally puts your car at more and more risk the closer you get to a physical object. So you want to pass it when it's safe. You know, you're on the throttle or you have a big change in speed where there's no risk to you. But trying to like attack a car aggressively under the brakes just to be close is literally just an insurance claim waiting to happen. So you want to give yourself your car an option. Because like let's say for example, Sika loses it. What happens to you? You hit him.
Depending on where Sika ends up,
Right,
is probably going to shove you right off the track.
Right, depending on where Sika ends up, because you can only make this sort of move against a person you absolutely trust to not screw it up, right? Because if there's if there's a chance to screw it up, you're putting your car at risk because he hits a curb accidentally and he doesn't mean to do it intentionally, but he just puts his car in a wrong spot and spins. You're too close to pull up, so you're just going to destroy your car. Oh. Right? And then Gearson's just laughing as he's going to 5th place because, ha ha ha, didn't have to do anything.
Okay, same car 23 at the 35-minute mark.
Okay.
Just a little bit ahead of this, I think.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what he was asking for, but he said lap 17 and 18, but this is
lap 18. This is why that's why
18,
I only
19.
listen to timestamps because
A little deep in the brakes.
I mean, other than missing the corner, nothing. Sika, are you here with us?
Mr.
Can you not hear me?
No, now we can.
now.
Ah, shit. Oh, there you go. That's why you guys wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, we didn't want to talk to you really. And I recorded it too, just so I could just talk over you the whole time. But like, I don't like Sika. No, what's up? What
So
are we looking at?
were you missing something at 35 or what? You had written it as
Yeah. So Jack and I are battling here, and he taps my fender. But I'm curious if like I was like, how is our racecraft going down this straight together? Is kind of my question. Like,
oh,
that's argy bargy. Get the hell out of my way.
yeah. I mean,
Nobody
like
was bullying you.
that was just just
I'm here.
him.
Go away.
Yeah, yeah.
is that like legit, or would that have been like So just for the record, the second time when I hit him, I did it on purpose. But like, was the first one? Was the first?
Well,
was the first one been a penalty or something, or like
penalty?
First of all,
No.
I'm never going to court with you because you just admit fault, and so that fucking sucks. Second of all, no, because it would have been a racing incident, right? Like you're just kind of touching. It's really close. No one really lost anything. Like I hope you're friends with this guy because depending on the guy's attitude when it happens, he might be a little iffy about you. But like,
I think we're a lot closer now, right, Jack?
Yeah, there's no hate. There's no beef.
There's only revenge.
I mean, that's literally the kind of stuff we mark as door bang on the spreadsheet. Admittedly, like you both are trying to squeeze each other. So, yeah, but the thing is, it's risky because this is physics. It's possible that things happen. So,
Yep.
Michael, just remember in the NFL, you know how the guy with the second flag always gets the penalty, like for retaliation?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm being serious. I
Sure,
can
yeah.
understand what you're talking about here. That, you know,
The biggest problem, honestly,
ow,
is reputation, right?
yeah.
So if you tell me that you did that on purpose, if I'm a steward, I am more critical every single time I see your car.
Just a little bit of a tap.
Every
a little bit
time.
of love.
No, but every time in my head, I go, how did Michael screw this up? Even if you're right, right? And I spend more time trying to find fault with you, right? So don't tell me. Just let me assume. Because if you get off scot free, you got off scot free, right? Shit, I've had some where I've run somebody off the road and I was expecting a penalty and
Ooh,
no one said
Baba
anything,
G.
right? It's fine.
But like, if something happened, whose fault is it? Like now, they both came out from the fault, that's fine. But if there was a crash, whose fault?
So that would. I'm not gonna do it here because it's a lot of effort. Like this is the incident we hate as stewards because we'll have to look at the steering angles of both drivers and the relative positions of the cars and a lot of stuff, and it's massive amount of like this is the stuff that takes us 10 minutes for a single incident to figure out. So I'm not gonna tell you, but I'll just tell you that we will be looking at the steering inputs, like who was steering into the other guy more and things like that. But it's fairly likely that even if something happened, this might have been a racing incident because neither driver is fully at fault, I think. I
Can
didn't look
Baba
at the
G
steering
be
input.
muted, please? Sorry to interrupt you, but can Baba G be muted?
He needs to mute himself.
Thank you.
I just muted him so that I didn't have to hear him.
Thank you.
Yeah, so when it comes to this kind of incidents, we look at the steering inputs mainly. We are looking like who is steering towards the other guy, but most of the time, like this in this case, for example, because the contact is so light and like neither driver is really steering into the other, so even if something happened, there's a fair chance it would be a racing incident because we can't assign the blame. But yeah, we hate this stuff. Please don't do it.
Yeah. Or at least if you do it, don't say anything. Right?
Yeah. Don't open your mouth.
Well, no, because the moment you said something, now I'm like, well, it's more Michael pushing this guy off the road. And if I'm the other opponent and really, 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 really wanted it, I would complain. And I'd be like, Michael drove me off the road. He said so. He's trying to hurt me. Like, you
Well, I
should
was definitely
penalize
trying
him.
to squeeze him.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, if
it
you want
doesn't, it doesn't matter because if someone, for example, if you see a car like dive bombing and then you turn anyway, it's not your fault because you turned anyway. It's the fault of the car that's being, like dive bombing.
Unless you spoke, right? So like,
why
so like,
there are it's like it's a rule.
right, exactly. So if the car on the inside, let's say, dive bombed you and hit you, and you just didn't say anything, odds are the fault would lean more on him because don't hit what you can see. But the moment you say I turned in on him, well, you've just created an accident because you could have avoided it. So now I'm like, well, now I have to penalize you because you told me so. I can't not, right? So don't give yourself a foul.
In my opinion, for the racecraft, when you're squeezing him like that, you can do that, like, yeah, where you're at. But before I get to turn one, I'm going back to the racing line so I can get a better run out of the corner. Because he will still be pretty much trapped on the inside because he can't react fast enough to steer left and then back to the right.
Right.
So then you'll have the run out of the corner and still keep him behind you. You don't have to pin yourself to him to the inside.
Yeah, if you
and that's sorry, and that's why I was like starting to slowly move to the left because I was expecting him to kind of go take a little bit of the racing line.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to keep him squeezed, you got to slow down with him, and you got to stay slow, and you got to stay slow, and you got to stay in his way, and you got to kind of roll in his way, right? So you kind of have two options: you either force him to the inside and then pop back to the left so that you can kind of keep some momentum, or you stay in front of his car and don't accelerate, because then you can just physically hold him there.
Because if I'm a car behind the both of you, I'm getting a run down the hill.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I am so far to the left right now. If I'm the car behind you, like, oh, it's Christmas, right? Like, oh geez. Now it sucks.
2 for 1 special.
But it sucks because it's Donington. So because going down turn one, it kind of weaves and narrows. Even though I have this big run, I might not be able to do anything with it. So I might just get stuck in a sandwich.
That's kind of what I was worried about with going wide though, is because like if I had the inside, like I would have probably shoved my car in the middle so he wouldn't be able to get around me. So I was afraid if I did go take the racing line, like I was gonna get stuck. So
less likely.
No.
No, less likely. I mean,
Well,
okay.
the one risk I would
You can
probably...
make through the right-handers too wide. The place where it gets sketchy is the left-hander at the bottom of the hill, and you will have the inside line for that corner.
Okay.
Well, and I think the thing that I would be more concerned about is that if you give him enough momentum to get that much speed up on you after doing all of this to him, I think you deserve what you get. Like, you know, you have enough space that you could have positioned back and kind of gotten a little bit on the outside and gotten a run in front of him. And so, like, yeah, he might be a little panic chasing you down the hill, but you'd probably be leading the whole time, right? So if you decide to let him go too wide at that point, you've lifted somewhere here. And now it's like, well, sucks. Good luck, guys. Good luck, everybody else.
Let's see. What do we got next here, Mr. Davin? Martin has car 113 at the end of the last lap with car 555.
Oh no!
I'm a bit late.
I had to do it, man. I had to do it.
No, that's fine. I also linked an incident.
I was willing to ask this, but for the previous incident, would it be punishable only if there was like a damage or if someone gets spun, or was there a chance for a penalty just
as
even
long
if both
as
cars clean?
As long as neither car clearly suffers from the door bang, we will probably not spend the eternity figuring out who is to blame, and it will just go as no further action.
For context,
no guarantees. It's case by case, but most likely, if it's like both continue, no places for exchange, everything is fine, no further action. Most of the time.
Most of the time. But reputation is a thing, right? And like we want to say all our stewards are fair, but they're also people. So if they know that you're tending to be a person that runs into people more often than not, sometimes there might be a 5-second penalty because it's just
for context, I was following Warmington for like 9 minutes at the end. And so I would gain on him, I would lose on him, and then he got stuck behind these two back markers. And
oh no.
Yeah.
Just pushed him right around.
Well, at least you waited. That's nice. That's nice.
Get out of the way.
Yeah.
But I was going, yeah, that was a tough one. And can you guys hear me okay? Because I've changed microphone.
Yeah, sure can. Sure can.
So really, yeah, that was a great race. That was real fun. And it came to the end, and I thought, if I don't try to get past these back markers, because they might let me pass, they might let you pass, right? So I kind of thought, right, if I take it really tight to this corner, but it really slowed me down, and I wasn't sure whether I was so slow you hit me in the braking zone or whether I was accelerating. I'm not sure whether it was my overslowing that did it or what.
Well, I mean, no, you just got hit. Like, it's not really anything you could have done so much different as the car behind you could have anticipated about all the things that were happening in front of them. Right? Because it's not your responsibility to go through every corner as fast as seemingly possible at all times if you don't have to, or if you need to keep your car safe. Right?
It was tight because there was the two back markers. I didn't know where they were going to go.
Yeah.
Didn't know whether they were just going to let us out the way, but they were racing each other.
Yeah.
It was the last corner, last lap, right?
Yep.
I was assuming they're not letting me pass now.
Right. No, that's a
fair.
fair.
And
that's
that's actually best because that's actually best because if you assume that they're going to let you by, then a whole lot worse is going to happen.
Yeah.
He basically got on the throttle just a tiny bit too much here.
Yeah, just got excited, right? And then just was like, oh, I think I might be able to do something when there was really nothing to do, and spun you around. So
if you watch NASCAR, this happens on every goddamn race. When they have those last 3 lap shootout.
Yeah, green, white, checkered.
Nothing new.
Yeah, green, white, checkered.
I was crying though because that was probably the best I've performed in any race ever.
Yeah, your qualifying was beast, dude. I was super proud of you. I was like, oh my god.
That's how Dale Earnhardt made it to the Hall of Fame.
Well, I was really soft at the beginning. I let 3 people go past me at the beginning because I just thought, oh my god, I'm up with these fast guys. I'm 5th. How did that happen? And they kind of bullied me out the way.
No. Martin, that's called ability that came out one night.
You know, it's so funny
too. Surprised by it.
It's so funny too, Martin, because you can be wicked fast and then you like are too nice to yourself and then slow down. Like you're quick. You just need to remember that you are quick for multiple laps in a row, and then you'll be fine, right? I've watched a lot of your races. It happens all the time. You qualify super well. I'm like, oh my god, Warmington, and then the race starts, and then I'm like, oh, it's Martin with the lil in now. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Martin, did you take your chance and finish the race in reverse?
I think they DQ'd you for that.
I really would love to see that happened.
Yeah.
Well, but the car stalled as well, so I was all confused, and I was still rolling. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it.
That's
So
exactly
I just went to pieces.
That was me too. That was me with
Martin,
the
do you know why you qualified that high? Because you're faster than the guys behind, so you definitely earn your spot, and you have no right to give it to them. You get to
Like
keep
I
it. And you
said,
get
that's called ability that showed up tonight.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, it was almost like I didn't want to cause a crash. Well, I never want to cause a crash right at the start, but I really didn't want to crash off the fast guys. I don't know why. There's just this thing where I'm going, oh my god. You know, I'm in the thick of it.
Dude.
So let me tell you. Let me tell you a quick story that we've heard 3 times tonight. But I have manifested my own problem because, like, when I followed behind Fagan, I said in my head, "Shit, you not. This will be the one thing that will fuck me over." Because I got there and I said, the only thing that'll fuck me over is myself. And then I pushed the ignition button for some reason, right? Like, my subconscious was like, oh, is that what you want? Okay, here, dead car. And I was like, awesome. If I had just been like, I'm going to bully this guy and I'm going to get this podium, this is going to be done, I probably would have just stayed on the throttle and just driven right by him. Wouldn't even come near the button. But our brains are stupid and subconsciously will do the things we ask them to, even though we shouldn't. And I was like, great. So you do the same thing. Worrying about accidents creates accidents, right? It just you manifest the problem because the brain doesn't know how to not look for those things, right? It's the don't think of the pink elephant scenario, right? So you're looking at all these other cars not wanting to hit them, and all your brain is doing is like, I could crash here, I could fuck this up, I could crash here, I could crash here, and it's just a miracle that it hasn't happened yet. And then when it does, your brain goes, oh yeah, I told you. That's the thing we've been talking about for 45 minutes.
Well, that's because our brains are programmed that way, right?
Yeah,
so
they're
what
programmed that way.
brains are, our brains' biggest threat to them is boredom, right? So they try to complicate things just so that you feel something, so that something's going through your head.
Boredom and conscious programming. Conscious programming is the biggest enemy for success at anything you do. Right? That's why coaching is so important, because it gives you the mental programming to not screw yourself. Right? That's why when a lot of
that's why the top athletes in the world in whatever sport still get coached.
Yep, they have brain people, because the brain is really, really dumb. It's really, really effective, but it's really, really stupid. So randomly, as it's going and doing things, if it doesn't have appropriate programming, it sabotages itself because it gets bored and starts to wonder about all these things because things are going too well. Right?
Exactly.
So
here's another thing. If you like, you're afraid of crashing into the fast guys, but you qualified with them, you are as fast as the guys around you.
Yeah.
They are not the fast guys. They are guys at the same level with you.
They are the guys.
The trouble is, my mind doesn't say that. It says, where did that come from? Bet you can't do it again.
Oh, no.
That's the whole problem right there. That's the whole problem right there.
Your mind is saying that, but we're telling you that your mind's wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, Martin, have you ever followed a guy off the track that you're following?
Yes, I have. Many
All right.
times.
Why do you think that happens?
Probably because I'm not concentrating on my own race.
That's
I'm
right. Your
looking at
focus,
him, right?
your focus is on something else. And so what you're doing here and what these guys are telling you, you're focusing on a negative instead of saying, I belong here. I'm going to run here. Don't worry about the crashes. Drive your race.
Yep.
It'll work out.
And guys, I tell you, the stuff that I've learned from you guys, I'm trying to put it all into place and all that kind of stuff.
You qualified
when
8.
something like this happens,
Hold on.
You qualified 8.
Let's say this. This is your aha moment tonight.
Yep.
All the shit that we've told you, all the people that have helped you in the chat and all that kind of stuff, all the time that you have spent, you just had your little light bulb go off.
Yeah.
I can be up in the very front.
Yep.
Every one of you has the ability. You just haven't tapped into it yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why everybody starts running and you guys get good. You start getting better. And I keep telling you, by the way, hey, you're doing real well.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get you guys the little pat on the back to get out there and try it a little more. And that's why we keep programming you and telling you, come hang out in the practice.
Right.
It's not just because we want to hang out with you guys and laugh and all that kind of shit. You are going to end up being better by being here. Now, granted, I know real life things kind of happen, but the more time that you spend in the servers and the more time that you actually do this, all of a sudden it all starts to come together.
And that's why
it's like a contact high, right? You have really no choice but to absorb that information and get better.
Exactly. Well, that's also why I drill Ilpo. That's why I drill JD.
Is Carter still here?
I drill Carter. No, I don't think he's here.
Okay.
Carter Irvin, you're talking about?
Yeah.
He's in Discord but muted.
Okay. Well, Carter Irvin is one of the guys that when he first showed up in the rookies, and this is an example. Okay, this is very, very simple, and it made no sense at all when it first happened. But I was watching him race. And you know how sometimes you get to the point where you're a little nervous under steering and you're not quite sure what's happening with the car. I looked at him and I said, look, you are just so nervous with the steering wheel. I said, just calm down. And I said, turn the wheel, set the angle, and hold it. That's all I said. The next thing I know, I look up and his times are dropping and they're dropping and they're dropping. And I was like, fuck, Carter, what'd you do? He says, it made sense.
And he went from rookies to pro.
Yeah. And that kind of happened to him almost overnight, right,
It
Larry?
did happen overnight.
It was
happened
a,
overnight,
right?
and I was like, what the hell's going on?
Come on, Carter, you can talk.
And the thing was, I told him, I said, I don't know what the hell happened. I said, but I created a fucking monster, Devin.
Yeah, you did. You did. I was just like, what? What is happening?
Everything made sense after that. It was just so simple, and it can happen to anybody.
Right.
It doesn't just take one thing or another. It's the fact that you guys are here, you're practicing, you're trying, and all of a sudden you tap into that one thing that was like, holy shit, now it all makes sense.
Well, and that's why I drill Ilpo, and that's why I drill JD, and that's why I drill Peter, and that's why I drill Martin, and that's why I drill Michael, and that's why I drill all the people who self-sabotage themselves saying, I did not deserve my success. Which is total fucking bullshit because I just saw you do it. And then you come to me and you're like, I don't deserve to do the cool thing I just did. And I'm like, shut up. Other people are trying. You're doing great.
Well, you know what the crazy thing is? I don't lack confidence, right? But I don't know. I just think my ability, it's always been mid pack, back round the back of the pack. And it's just been, and that's been fine for me. And I've been happy.
Stop believing that because now you're up in the front. So start up in the front from now on.
Start up in the front. Exactly. We're just going to change the pack.
That's where you belong. You did it. You can do it again, and you're going to do it more.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm going to feel pressure now, and then when I'm
damn it.
Well, so
hey, Devin, hold up, Devin. Do me the deal with it.
Hey, just deal with it. It is just deal with it. I mean, no, it is just deal with it. Like,
deal with it goddammit.
Seriously, you're doing the exact same thing in 8th as you're doing in 21st as I'm doing in 2nd until I turn my car off and end up in 9th. Like, it's the same shit. You're just driving around over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? So, like, there's no reason to worry. Right? There's no reason to worry.
Did something happen to Devin? Did Devin accidentally shut off his car tonight? Like, is that what the rumor is?
Well, no, dude, I'm pissed because I've had 6 months of shit races, right? So this
and you
is
finally
my
had a great
first
one.
fucking good race that I actually could have won the thing, and I'm like, cool. I turned my car off, but on the plus side, though, it's good for confidence because I'm like, dude, I was stoked on the lap I threw out. Because I went from 9th to 2nd in one lap. And I was like, and the lap I did it, I was like, oh, I got a lap that's going to crush everyone but one guy halfway in the middle of it. I was like, oh, we're done. This is done. It's done. Right? If I just carried that confidence for the rest of the race, I at least would have finished 2nd. I did it to myself. Right? And it's like, well, shit.
I lost my confidence on my second pit stop.
Yeah. Pit stops are hard, but people don't practice pit stops enough. I shit you not, man. Like, when you guys are in open practice and in-house to practice, don't return to garage. Stop your car. Because going in the pits in practice is the exact same as doing it in the race. It's just no one practices it. And then when they go to pit, they're all nervous because they get to the pit lane and they're like, I've never been in this space at this speed before. I've never driven into the box. I don't know what's happening. Practice those things, guys.
So, I think the key to Mark's was the second pit stop.
Yeah?
Yeah, mine was I lost focus when I hit. I'm like, crap, I've run out of fuel. I'm a lap. I missed the pit window by one lap. So I had to pit a second time
rough.
to make pit window. And it just threw everything out after that. But then towards the end of my race, I've sent it to Larry. But yeah, I had 2 accidents for the whole freaking race, and they were near the end for once.
Well, let me Let me put to you this way, man. There's always going to be another race. These races don't really fucking matter. It's all about the learning experience of what we picked up, right? Like, no one's going to remember this. I mean, I'm going to remember this one for a really fucking long time because I'm mad about it. But, like, you know, like, no one's going to remember it really in the grand scheme of things, right? Well, what it's going to do is it's going to motivate me to do better for the next race, right? Because, I mean, first of all...
It's going to motivate you to change your buttons.
Yeah, I was just going to say either motivate you or make you
No, seriously. It's not the button placement. It was the mindset. If you know how I'm never supposed to flash somebody, right? I did the one thing I shouldn't do, and karma just bit me in the face. Because I moved my thumb 2 inches the wrong way. If I just hadn't done that and just driven by, the car would have stayed on. And I'm like, oh, god damn it.
That's why Davin's not a carpenter. He gets 2 inches wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Measure once. Instead of measure twice, cut once. It's measure 350 times, cut once. Right?
All right.
Sorry.
So let's see. Mr. Vince has one.
I wanted to mention something. My race was like the opposite. Like from the beginning, I felt like when I'm driving a pack, I get extremely nervous of like touching people, and I end up touching people just because of that reason. Then I had the gas incident, and I was on my own on 25th. And for the last 13 minutes, I lapped in 128 lows. Even like one lap, I had the chance to go 127. I'm like, why couldn't I not do this in qualifying or at the beginning of the race?
No. Wait, I got a secret for you on how to drive amongst other people. It's super simple.
HOP?
Do it a lot. I'm serious. Practice. Do it a lot.
Hang out with the rest of us.
Hang out with the rest of us. Come run with us, right? Like, House of Practice is great because we just have a lot of battles and big packs, and we run around in groups, and we go 3 wide and practice and do dumb stuff so that you know what's going to happen. Most folks, they hot lap because they want to see a time for their own ego. But then they're not practicing like 85% of the other skills they're actually going to need to get to the end of the race. And so when they end up in a group of people, they're just like, oh my god, what am I going to do? Because they've never tried anything. And so when the cars were going off and other things were happening, it's just a disaster because they've never prepped their brains, right?
You get no racecraft hot lapping.
You get no racecraft hot lapping, right? Like Silver, I shit you not, the top 15 guys within a second. It would not have mattered.
It was incredible to watch that.
Yeah, it would not have mattered how good my lap was. I was still going to be in a pack of cars. Didn't matter. Right? So I can't freak out about that. I know how to drive in packs of cars. It didn't matter where I was going to qualify. We just need to go forward now. Right? And a lot of folks don't practice that, right? They either practice with the AI so they can give themselves the subconscious water wingies that the people aren't real. And so the cars move out of their way and they feel good about it because they see cars dodging out of the way and that doesn't help them. Or they hot lap by themselves and they get discouraged because the lap time isn't the same as the people in front and they never try. So then they stumble into a race and they end up, 30th, so whatever, it happened. And then they freak out because they've never driven around other cars, and then they just drive into 15 people. If we practice, that won't happen as much.
Okay, let's see.
There's
Mr.
also-
Vince has one.
There are some basic
47.
techniques.
Hey, Elpo, 2 people are talking at the same time, and that really sucks. Can someone pick?
All right, I'm going to say goodnight, guys. Larry, Devin, thanks so much. Great race tonight, guys.
Later,
Have
Ed.
a good one.
Later.
Good night, Ed.
Yeah, good night.
Yeah, same.
All right, so who's
Yeah,
going first?
we need to move it on because we've been here for quite a while, and we got a bunch here to go.
Oh, brilliant.
Vince has got one at 47 minutes on car 863.
No, I always forget remember his car. I don't know why, but his number always stands
That's
out.
Mr. Stout. He's the one that had the children show up at the night
Right.
when they were calling roll. Which, dude, I think that's funny as hell.
That was
was
funny.
great. The kid popped in and said, "I'm here because you were busy."
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. All right, let's see.
I gotta hop off, guys, but great talking. I'll watch the
All right,
race.
Sergio, come hang out with us, man. We got a thing going on this weekend, Evan.
Yeah,
You
we sure
might
do.
want to announce that.
Yeah,
I'll be out of town this weekend, but next week I'll be sure to hop on the House of Practice as much as I can.
Cool. We're gonna do a
Good
check
night,
day.
guys.
We're gonna do a check day on Saturday. So cool.
Yeah, everybody's invited.
Jeez.
So I don't see anything. What are we looking for here?
Hey, Larry. I said 47 because I wasn't sure exactly. It's from here for the next couple seconds, but it's the 2 cars in front of me are back markers. I think they're 30 and 31, and I kind of let them battle a little bit because And
I was chasing you at this point. I think
it's like they're kind of defending me a little bit,
No,
and
not really.
I'm trying to find if I could have been doing something different, or if I was not aggressive enough to get by, or because there was a couple times I tried to get by and it almost felt like they were defending.
Sure.
Like I said, I was like, okay, you guys are 30 and 31. You're bumping, but at this point, like I'm looking behind me and I'm seeing the guys that I'm racing against catching up, and I'm like, okay, I got to get by these guys. But so yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what I could do different in these situations, because it seems like I have
Send it.
No, that's a terrible idea.
I'm just kidding.
Terrible plan. Terrible plan. Okay, so why don't we have a quick conversation about back marker management? Because this is something I feel like I type like 4 to 5 times a day. And what is going on outside? I have like the loudest neighbors just blasting sound or something. Or I hear someone driving? Is someone else?
Hope someone makes mistakes.
Is that just me?
I don't hear anything.
We can't hear anything.
Really?
I can't hear him.
Pacific Northwest talking to you.
It's definitely coming through my headphones. Maybe it's just audio from something else. Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. Oh, it's a live stream of someone on Twitch driving. That's what that was. Sorry about that. Okay, anyway, let's talk about back marker management for 2 minutes. So here's the thing. So when you come up against back markers, there are 2 points of view to this conversation. The back marker and the leader doing the passing, right? So we've talked to death about how a back marker doesn't need to move out of your way, and that it's a responsibility of the faster car. So I don't need to harp on that. But there are some strategic benefits for back marker management. If you are a back marker, it is to your benefit to let a leader go by in a safe place, like at the beginning part of a straightaway or somewhere really easy, because that fast car will then catch the car that you were trying to race and likely slow them down. Depending on how mindful the people are that you are racing, there can be massive benefits to it, because like sometimes people just don't realize who's on the track with them, and so you let a leader go by and they spend a bunch of time racing the leader rather than racing you, and then you can catch up and then you can make it pass, right? But you've kind of fulfilled your, etiquette, I guess, to let the car go by. It kind of depends on where you are and who you are, right? Because if you're let's say a back marker in a team of 2, the car, like if it's let's say it's these 3 cars, but the cars are closer together, right? The white car has the benefit of letting the leader go by, but the green car would not, because it's just racing the white car. So the green car can either try to drive away or slow down the white car to try to keep it close to the leader. And now it's up to these 2 cars to negotiate how they're going to let each other go by, right? So there's a little bit of
kind of like playing chess while you're driving.
Yeah, it's a little bit like playing chess when you're driving, right? As the leader, you're faster than them. You just need to put your racing brain on and not just kind of shove your car into the back of another one and kind of make the errors that would cause you to lose positions if you were racing someone for position. The way I get by back markers is I race them like I would race any other car. It is way, way easier to do that than waiting for them. Because
push pressure on him.
Yeah, put pressure on them, get a run out of the corner, do all the things that got you all the way around the racetrack to get here. Just do it to the car in front of you. If you treat every car equally, it's way easier to know what to do. Because when they're falling off the road or being sloppy or missing their brake point, I mean, that'd be the same thing as if you were chasing some guy for the lead and he fell off the road. It's literally no different. It's mostly a minor ego that the leaders have when they drive up against slower cars, that they expect that car to get out of their way, but then they sabotage their own races by just driving into traffic, basically. Right? So if you kind of race them all the same, it kind of works out. And if the back marker's smart, once you get a bit of a run, they'll know, right? You'll hope so, right? If you're pulling up alongside them and they look over and they're like, oh crap, that's a blue flag, that should have been in my face for 5 minutes, you can just lift and it's really super easy, right? But if you sit back there, then you're hurting your own race too, because the leads will catch you. And sometimes that's just gonna happen, man, right?
And I guess why I was kind of concerned, because like I kind of did that. Like I had a couple runs. Like I was up on the bumpers a few times, but I let myself back because it just, I didn't want to cause an incident. It wasn't worth it to wreck over a back marker. And I was like, I'll try to keep up as, kind of close and wait for them to make a mistake. But I'm usually the back marker. So it's like,
I get it. I do. Well, I mean, congratulations.
Think of it this way. If you had a run on somebody and you get close enough, is it in a area that would be considered a decent passing area, first of all? And if it is, then you really put the pressure on them when you're that close.
Right.
And they will either make a mistake or they'll realize that you're there and you're not waiting and you're not going to be, held up any longer. And it's not as though they're going to let you by, but most likely they'll stay on the racing line. And if you know where the racing line is, then you can pick your place to go around and when you're that close.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And yeah, I think it really boils down to I need experience with that. Like I can be in traffic, but as far as like I'm not very good at defending, and I'm not very good at attacking.
Passing is not very easy, but you can plan ahead.
Right.
There were a couple of times where I was getting close to you initially from behind, and there was one place at the bottom of the hill on that fast right-hander. You would go wide just about every time, and I just could not keep the front end down to get a run on you out of that corner, but I always caught you down the hill.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I was planning on making a run. And I did pass somebody on the outside on that next corner, which was really cool, but I can't remember what lap it was.
Right. This is another one of those practice helps, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, I don't like to spend a lot of time in social channel when I'm driving because it's hard to focus and drive at the same time. But occasionally I will poke my head in and be like, hey, I need a battle partner to run with, or hey, I'm going to chase the number, whatever, so they know. Because I know some people are trying to like find their way around the racetrack and they don't really want to be around other cars right now, and I appreciate that, right? But it's helpful to just chase down other cars. It's helpful to get into mock battles. It's helpful because then you've just got enough experience when you do have to pass the back marker that you just race them.
And not only that, during practice, it's okay to fuck up.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. No, man. Dude, I've just completely obliterated cars trying stuff, and then be like, hey, man, I messed up. I wanted to see what would happen if I went down there. I wanted to see where your car would go. Right. Like I'm not gonna just be reckless and just like ruin their day. But I'm like, I tried. I tried so that I know if it like the mistake I made at the end of this race, right? I locked up. I made the same mistake in a practice race a couple days ago. So when I hit the brake, I knew I was going off the track. And so I could release the brake early and just kind of turn a little early and just kind of make the pain less. But I knew it was not savable. And so I didn't try to fix it in the middle. I was just like, oh, I fucked up. Okay. No.
Yeah, Davin and I still have spa PTSD from a night of practice.
Oh man, those
because
days.
we ran hard to see where we could do what.
Yeah. I run like that
It's
with
super
Bobby.
helpful, guys. I promise you.
Yeah, I run like that with Bobby. I run like that with Loic. And like Will, if I was a steward, I probably would have a brain aneurysm. But like we're leaning on doors, like we're sliding sideways, right? Like we're just trying to figure out where the limit is. And then that way in a battle, I can pull a little bit back from that. Or if I have to go over it, I know like, okay, this shit's happening. Right?
Yeah.
Especially in places like turn 6 on this track where it's got that terrible death curb in the middle, that bounce in the middle. At least for the Ferraris, it is literally a car killer. And I drive over that curb in practice all the time just to see like, is that curb smooth from the beginning to the end of it? It is definitely not that. Right? So I knew in the race to not drive over it, or if somebody were to drive over it, to lift because their car's going to go bouncing into the air. Practice. So,
and Henry's who's in here, he'll do the same thing with you. He doesn't mind. If y'all need somebody to battle with, he's a good guy to run with.
Yep.
I have the green car.
Larry, give me another one.
Mordecai has one at 4020.
What's his number?
And it was interesting because he's got car 19 and 63.
Okay.
He says the car behind sends it into T8. And then he says, did he earn the right to the corner or was I right to close the door?
4020.
I have. It's one of the two incidents that I have. They're definitely 100% my mistake. I was sent.
Well, here we go with the stewards again, Henry. Just shut up and wait.
Right, don't take that.
because I already know that this is 100% my mistake.
Don't admit fault, Henry. Don't admit fault.
Don't admit fault. Yeah, don't admit fault.
No, I admit fault. That is
a fault right there.
It was.
You did close the door, Mordecai.
But because for what incidents I sent Larry, I told him, I know that I did the mistake, but I wanted to let you know what was going in my mind when I did the mistake. So, I thought I had the run, and then it was too late. Oh shit! I was on a break all the way, but it was too late for me to back out from it. So
that's my teammate, baby.
But let's talk about this from a learning perspective, right? So the road is paved and ahead of you, right? And it goes its direction and never moves. So when we're planning an attack, we need to know where our car is going to go to finish it. We don't have a lot of options here, right? Because there's a lot of road to the right, but we're never going to make it over there. And there's a lot of sand and other things here, and there's another car. So, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And a lot of people will like make dives up the inside because there's a bit of space. but this space just leads to an accident, right? Because there's just nowhere for us to put the car. Even if Gearson were to step off line and give you space, he'd have to slow down tremendously, right? And he's not going to voluntarily do that. I mean, if he is, I mean, please do that more often so I can go by 2. But if you're racing him, he's definitely not gonna.
No, but if I had more speed, like slightly like half a car length more, I would have it would have been my corner, right?
Mm-mm,
How come no?
No, because he's still turned into the corner here. So
No.
right about here. So
Yeah,
I mean,
sorry, sorry, I missed. If I had half car speed before the turning, and that's
I mean, sure.
that's what I was saying. That I was saying that I knew that I'm not gonna be on the same side as him just before the turn again. That's why I said, oh shit.
If the car if Gearson had been, let's say, half a car length back going up the hill, sure, then we have a totally different conversation, right?
Yeah.
But we are not in that zone, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I'm not chastising you. I'm just saying, like, we are not in that.
Oh
zone.
no, I know, I 100%. No, I know, because I had a like really good run from the previous corner. I thought I have enough speed because it was really good.
Yeah.
The coming out, I thought I might make it, but yeah, no,
it's hard. It's hard, man. I do the same thing. I do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I did the same thing to Gearson actually.
Yeah.
Like a few laps before the end, I drove him right off the road. Let me see if I can find that.
For me, it sucked. I spent 20 seconds on the side of the track trying to get out.
No, I get it.
So,
Hey Henry, I can tell you, like a corner like that one right there, instead of making the move, if you learn to fake them,
yeah,
you guys will watch their mirrors and screw up and run wide, and then on exit you got them.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Let's see. I know it's in
learning.
here somewhere. I'm just gonna find it.
But you're absolutely right. Well,
I think it's here. I think.
It's the second to last one.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
That's where I dove on Gearson and it didn't work. Like at all. Yeah, it was here. Because you were here. It was Megan. I saw you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you again. That's what it was. Yeah. So like I was a little late, right? I'm not gonna make this. Not gonna make this at all.
Oh.
No. I'm fine. We're fine. I just drove off.
Yeah.
With him, right?
Yeah. I let off the brake too. I was like, I see you.
I was so happy you did that because I was like, Megan, you need to move.
Watching his mirrors. Good job.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, here's the problem. I didn't have mirrors.
Yeah.
My view is different now.
Yeah.
So I don't have mirrors. All I saw was a car, like the MFD was like, "Hey, you need to let off." Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna...
Well, I bless
Are you not running the virtual mirror?
It's gone in my view.
Oh, have you cycled through your? Have
you can always run virtual mirror.
Yeah, have you cycled through your camera views once?
Yeah, I did. And one of them, it turns off the mirror completely.
Weird. We should look at that.
VR is the only one I know where you can't use virtual mirror.
Yeah.
No, there's another one. For some reason, it doesn't show up.
Oh,
yeah, you have to zoom out your FOV to see the real mirror in your car.
Gross.
That's the one I'm using.
Okay, let's see. What's the next one? Car 6, the last lap at 48:15.
Okay, 48:15.
And we need to make these a little short because it's getting long.
Okay.
That's a send.
Yeah, just a dirty side slap.
That's a send. You're not even
close.
close.
No! And then we tried to rig it, and then we just kept crashing. Oh my god.
That's karma.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well,
so
that was for 2, 3, and 4.
But also, let me go back to who's the car that hit him? Was it Russell? No, because Russell's up here. Oh no, it is Russell. Yeah.
So Russell got up there after the hit. Yeah, there was like bang,
these
bang,
cars
bang,
came
and
back
on
into
you
him.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a little bit of bad luck, I think, too, right? Because there's a crash here. Yeah, they're trying to get back off, and then they just decide that like the Germans are going to kill the Italians, and they both just drive into you. Like, oh man.
Well, the Italian comes out on top.
Say again?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they canceled each other out.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, but that was a mafia hit.
Survived.
That's what that
He
was.
survived.
Yeah, that was a second or this was the last
They're
lap,
the
right?
Godfathers.
Godfather 3 and 2 and 3 at the same time. All right, man.
All right,
you got
let's
lucky.
see.
All right, give me another one.
37-31, car 35 or 34.
Oh, that's a lot of 30s.
34.
Okay,
Actually, I'm sorry, I'm reading it wrong.
34, 37, 31.
1.
Okay. Oh, hey. What happened, Harris? I like his team name, Felton. Okay.
Unsafe rejoin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Pinball.
Oh, no.
That was Johnson.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah,
that's a
Larry,
bummer.
that's one of them that I sent you.
Yeah, I figured
So
it
you
was.
can ignore that one.
Well, that's the reason why I was going with it.
Yeah,
And I was saying I don't know if that's an unsafe rejoin or not because I
Okay.
didn't see the beginning of it. I just saw him coming back into the other traffic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that definitely is. Yep.
Yeah, this was my first accident for the entire race. I'd made it through all the early laps, and I'm like, yes! And then I've suddenly got a Ferrari coming right in on me while I was wide.
Again, Godfathers.
I know.
How early did you see him, though, is a question.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Basically.
Kind of hard, though, because it's over a blind hill.
Well, that's what I was just trying to figure out because it's over the blind and he's in the sun, too.
Yeah, you come over here, he's off the track.
Yeah, here you don't expect it to happen.
But he's still hauling ass.
And he's got a car inside.
Yeah,
I've got a
this is
car
going to be
inside.
ugly.
I can't really pull in right. There's another car on my right.
Yeah.
I'm like, crap, I got nowhere to go.
Yeah, you got screwed.
That would be brakes. Go to the brakes.
Yeah, but I guess I would have to blame the Ferrari for that.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, I think that was George Johnson.
Yes, it was.
All right, let's see another one. Here we go with Henry. Car number 63 at 11:20, turn 11. He says I was too aggressive on my end, couldn't slow in time.
Okay, so car number 63. Where are we?
Yeah,
11:20.
I think turn 11.
Okay, 11:20. Oh,
Lap
geez.
3. Yeah.
I just see the end of whatever happened.
So I saw the car in front of me was taking the inside, and the other car was being forced on the outside, and I tried to be,
No anticipation whatsoever.
But yeah, I tried to follow it, but like I was too, couldn't slow enough.
I'm gonna give you the short answer first. Go the other way next time, because going to the bottom of the corner is only gonna make it worse, right? Because if you had, let's say, outbraked yourself and had gone left instead of right, or at least got on the brakes and let the cars in front of you kind of get away, you would have been safe, right? But trying to fix a fuck up just makes the fuck up worse.
Yeah.
Right? Because now it's worse. Now you've got two cars on the inside of you. Now you have nowhere to go. Now we've hit this car and we've drilled him, and like it gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
Where would he went left though? Is my question.
Before you hit the brakes.
Yeah.
But
see,
again,
right here,
I
it's too
didn't
late.
know-
He's
yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I didn't have enough brakes until I started getting
Right.
on the brakes. Like, and here I knew that. Yeah.
Right here,
I
it's too
thought,
late
like,
because
I
he's
might
going to
make
kill
it.
Michael.
Yeah. Yeah. And if we had been over to the left, we'd have enough width of the road when we get down
But
there.
in my mind, I wanted to follow the car in front of me just because the other car is being forced out on the outside line, and that was my,
thinking
why I did it. Yes,
Yeah,
why I
yeah,
did
yeah.
this.
So if you want to do that in the future, a hard brake, maybe about 10 feet behind where you are, like a brake and a release and a brake, will get you that effect, right? Because you get all your initial slowing down really, really early, and then you kind of coast into the space rather than trying to rush into the space, right? You're braking like you're on a hot lap, where you're gonna
You're trying to outbrake the car on the left, and you outbroke yourself into the car on the right.
Right, right. So, going back to, let's just go back a little bit. Oh, no, this is fine. Going to a break about here,
Now?
actually, would have been great.
Yeah.
A hard,
Yeah.
like a hard break, and then a release off the
Yeah,
brake,
no,
and then rolled in with the
100%.
speed. Because then, if you need to adjust, you're just adjusting off a little bit of speed, right? Just no. And, Gearson's not going to really go anywhere likely. And if he does, you're going so slow, you just get on the brakes, and he just cuts in front of you.
True.
Like, no big deal.
Yeah.
But, as a general rule of thumb in situations like this, trying to fix a mistake just makes the mistake worse.
Yeah, honestly, it's not like I didn't have any choice. Like by that time, I'm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we passed the point of no return.
I'm a passenger here. Like I'm just
Yeah.
all the way. I like my pedals all the way to the wall now.
Yep. We were on the bullet train, and good luck everybody else. Yep.
I had a great view of this going down. It was fantastic.
Oh,
I was like right behind him. It's great.
But
go inside my cockpit.
One thing to remember too, if you're going to have an accident, try to go where the cars that are in front of you are not trying to go.
At least you didn't die, Sika.
I got like 3 positions, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I tried. I stopped a little bit to give him the position back because that was stupid. From my end. So yeah, apologies for that.
Eris has a good video that talks about this that I'll post.
Following?
Yep.
Following and braking.
So
So
there was another. Larry, I gave you another like big dive bomb in that corner. Someone like pulled off.
So there's no such thing as braking late. So just forget that idea. You always brake early, and then modulate the brakes.
Okay, let's see. Shankur has one for us. He's at lap 2 at 950 with car 9 and 555.
Okay, car 9 is where? Oh, there we are. And what timestamp was it again? Sorry.
950.
950.
Lap 2. Let it roll from there. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. This is it'll come into turn 12. But this is like a racing incident, probably.
Catching him. Now, you are way too far inside to even try anything like this.
Yeah. So, if you're going to try that, you want to be closer to him.
Not only that, look where you are on track when you start braking. You're in the dirt.
Right.
So, you're on a shitty side of the track, and it's going to pick up all kinds of garbage on the right tire, and you're waiting to spin at that point.
Right. So
If you let it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. If you let it play out live after this, I actually spin him on the very last corner.
Oh, you did. So the tires on the right side are dirty, and you spin on the left-hand corner.
That's funny. There's a couple problems here, actually. So let's take all the other cars off the road and just put you on the road by yourself, right? The closer you are to the inside of the corner, the more you physically have to turn to make the corner. So diving to the bottom of the corner at a high rate of speed only hurts your car more than the other cars. Right? If none of the other cars were here and you were just on a lap by yourself, we'd all be laughing at you because you don't know where the racing line is. Right? So we want to be as close to the racing line as possible when we try to make this move. Because not only are we giving ourselves a huge amount of entry speed at the bottom of the corner, so it's going to be harder to stop and harder to turn, but also we've given the car on the inside, the 555, a lot of time and maneuverability to adjust, right? Because you're way far away from him. So he'll look over and be like, what's this guy doing? Right? And let that just finish, whether you crash or whether you make it. I haven't played it yet, right? But if you were close to him, then you can manage him down to a speed where you can turn. And that's the point, right? Because you don't want to really get through the corner. You want to get by the car. So you need to be close to the car.
Can we see his onboard right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so see, he's got plenty of car you can see there. So.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, not on my screen, right? I have a small monitor, so I barely see the A pillar.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think that's.
Are you using this view with the hands and the dashboard and all that, or are you closer to the dash?
Yeah, I'm like right up on the dash.
So,
okay, well, there's part of the disadvantage
but even
too.
if you're here right up on the dash, right? Like, okay, fine.
I mean, I'm leaving the. Yeah, so I mean.
Look, you're driving away from him.
Yeah.
Right. So now I can't even see him. So if you're Costa, you're probably super happy about it because you're just like, well, probably gonna see a car. If I don't see it, I know he's somewhere down there, right? But all I have to do is run a wide line and I'm safe. So we not only didn't accomplish the objective, but
So
we slowed
if
ourselves down a lot.
Well, if you keep on playing here from my viewpoint, if you don't mind, Acosta 555.
Yeah.
Not necessarily this corner, but the one afterwards.
Oh, where you spin?
Yeah, just keep playing.
Let it roll.
Okay.
At this point, I know he's there, so I'm pretty committed to holding the inside, and then this is where I.
Oh, we're just wanting to see the next part that we keep talking about. Okay. Oh, and then you hit him. Okay.
And around he goes.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Well, all right. So we hit him. I don't have a lot to say. Don't do that. Right? Like, that's all I got for you. I'm sorry. Don't do that.
Well, Lewis, I mean, you did a great job in the corner before, giving him room.
Yeah.
And then here, I don't know if maybe did you outbrake yourself a little bit, maybe?
I should have just braked earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you outbraked yourself just a tad.
Yeah. Yeah. And on the dirty side of the road too, so it's harder to stop.
And too far inside.
And way too far inside. So like none of these.
So
things
we
are gonna
just
work.
swapped cars for the other side.
And we've swapped cars and done the same thing to the other car. We're too far away, right? So if we were gonna try to squeeze this car, you should get all the way over next to the 9 and give him very little room, right? You should be as far close to the right as you're gonna try to, and at least slide up onto the 9. Like you're still gonna not make it. Like it's still risky and probably just not gonna work. But at least you're giving your car more maneuverable space. Right? Where you are, you've just said, I don't really like my Mercedes all that much. And you're giving yourself no space. Right? You need to give your car room. Cars need room.
And this is kind of the same thing we ran into earlier at the very beginning with Ron. When you're on the inside, you've got to brake a little bit earlier because you've got to be able to hold the inside.
And the inside is a relative thing, right? If you were next to the 9, you're
Yeah.
still on the inside. If you're downhill here in what I like to call the death area, you're on the inside, right?
Yep.
So I'd rather be on the safer part of the inside than the riskier part of the inside, right? The only time that going down here really works is like if you want to cannonball run the damn thing and just throw it at the corner, right? But it's like whether you make it or not is down to luck at that point, and that's not a great idea.
So once we clear the previous corner, I should just, as long as I don't like completely toss him off, I just move to the right of the track, and then I can defend better that way.
Fall in behind him.
Yep, fall in behind him or just be near him. Like, fine. Like, you don't want to let the car get in front of you all the way. That's fine. I'm okay with that. You think you might be able to get on the brake a little early and kind of get off next to him and roll up next to him? Fine, take the risk. But you can't
just
do
crowd
it.
him.
Yeah, just crowd him. But you can't do it this far away because once we're here, you're committed, right? You're way off the racing line. You can't get over to him now. It's too late, right? So the only thing you can do is hit him. You were gonna hit him from back here, and now we're just gonna crash because you don't
actually going to hit him.
Yeah, you were actually going to hit him. Like you don't have any control of your destiny anymore. It is literally down to him to maybe not hit you, and he can't do anything about it. So
he's far enough ahead that he has the line for the corner. It's his corner. Plus, he's going to turn down on you every time.
So like, if you're gonna make risky moves like that, it's safer to hug a friend than to stay away.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah,
and oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I like the radar here told me he was not alongside me, right?
Yeah, because he wasn't.
Exactly. And so
if you can go above, you'll see the hit F3 till you're in the helicopter mode.
Oh, there's a good idea.
Yeah. So that's
yeah, you're not close enough to turn the radar on.
Yeah, so
he
is. It only came on when I was like in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, because when you got hit.
Exactly. And so
like, by the way, that's him.
Yeah, he's dead now.
So then, that was the only point where I was like, oh man, I should have left. Now I need more space, but it was too late, right?
Well, and I guess the thing is that if you are really far on the inside in situations like this, you are highly dependent on the car in front of you to make a lot of adjustments to give you room. And that is not likely to happen. Like the only guys who do that are the ones that are scared to touch other cars. And like I'll do that on someone who's new, who's scared, and I know they're going to jump away from me, so I'll just dive it up the inside, and they go right when the corner's going left. But if you've got any bit of experience or any bit of confidence in your car, you're going the way you want to go, and so they're going to turn on you. So the only way you can manipulate that is by crowding the guy and saying, "Hey man, I'm still here, so get over, right?" And then maybe try to manipulate that space. But giving yourself too much lateral space side to side is always a risky thing. You're not even on the racing line here either. So you're on the dirty part of the track where you've given yourself less grip. So you don't even have the track helping you.
Yeah, speaking of that, Devin, this is one of the things I wanted to show you. I wanted you to help show earlier. You guys have got to know that this is a very, very sensitive section of the track to a certain extent because of the fact that there's so much rubber laid down in this braking zone that anything that's either on the left or on the right of that dark patch is kind of a no-go zone as far as grip. It is not the same, especially on this left side where you've got all the marbles. And then further to the right, as you guys start to pitch into the corner, it gets even worse on the outside. So driving on the racing line is most important because you are not going to have dirty tires for the next 3 or 4 corners.
Right.
Yep. All right, let's see. Shankar has another one for lap 7.
I was going to say one other thing I did want to touch on about this too.
Okay.
Who has gone through turn 12 and turned in and found they lost a ton of time right when they turned?
Most everybody, probably.
Most everybody, right? And it's mostly because they try to take like on a really wide racing line, and they have 2 tires on the gray and 2 tires on the black. So the black is where all the sticky stuff is, obviously, because all the rubber is being laid down over and over and over again, right? So down on a corner like this, your inside tires are trying to grip when your outside tires are slipping, and so you're actually forcing the car to go the wrong way, right? Because it's trying to use the traction from the left-hand side and from the on the left-hand side on the inside, go in the opposite direction. So it doesn't help you turn, because you know how G-force loads to the outside, right? If you swing a ball around and around and kind of, all the lateral force goes to the outside of the car, your outside tires are the ones that need traction, not your inside ones. And so that's why you have to stay so tight to the inside of 12 to make the corner, because you see where the racing line is all rubbered in, it's all tightened on the inside, right? That's why a lot of cars spin out here, because they basically release their outside tires, spin around. So helicopter mode, especially on an optimal track, can help you fix racing line problems, because you might think in your driver's eye view you're on the racing line, and you are definitely not there. Okay, now Larry, do the thing.
1730, car 9 and 27.
Okay, say that again.
1730.
Okay.
Car 9 with car 27 along with him.
Okay, car 9, car 27. Oh, here we are. Okay, we're going to back up a little bit, and we're going to go from here, because I like this view, and we're going to do this one.
Definitely need to be wider on the entrance to that corner, Shankar.
I'm not going to lie, I'm happy to not drive the chicane for a couple more weeks. Like, I'm so tired of it.
Back again inside.
Oh, no.
Blocking.
Oh, bad luck, man. But this is the same thing that Acosta had, but just the more violent version of it.
Dolan comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I noticed him. Then I
Yeah,
bailed.
but you're moving over a bit to block him because he's already made his move.
So here I noticed. I was like,
his tires are going to be.
It's going to be an accident.
Yeah.
Good thing that you backed out, because he would have nailed you hard.
The one thing that would have been worthwhile for you to do, and I know this is counterintuitive, but would have been to just stop for a minute. Because you got down here, and the car hits the green, and then you're trying to drive around 2 moving objects. So the 27 hasn't really hit his brakes yet, because he's probably still dazed or pissed, right? So he's still moving. And so then he moves into you, where if you had stopped back there, you probably wouldn't have driven into him. He would have probably slid in front of you, but he wouldn't have driven into him.
Yeah.
So if you see a big impact coming, right? Like especially if I'm going down into a corner and I see a car is just out of control down here, because that's basically what's happening. I look at the thing he's gonna hit, and I watch that, and I adjust to whatever that thing is doing, because that's the out of control thing that could ruin my day, right? And then I'll boop, right? So if that was real life, both your cars are broken now, right? And he just drives away. But when there's going to be an incident, even though you're not involved, it's good to keep your eye on it, because you could become involved, and then nobody has any fun anymore.
All right, Demetrius has got one here that caught my attention. Car number 94, lap 25, the entire first half. Heart rate at 120 beats a minute.
Okay, car 94. What was the time step again? Sorry.
Lap 25, the beginning.
Okay, lap 25.
Car 95.
The beginning, like half the lap.
Oh my
more or
god! I
less.
mean, I'm not trying to throw this guy under the bus, but I had the same kind of heart rate that I'm doing with this car. I remember this car.
No, it's more because of myself than anything. Not his driving style, or it's just that
way too far inside. Way too far inside.
Wow.
Come on, get out there on the racing line and follow him, for crying out loud.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, well, you missed it by 2 car widths.
And now
on
we're
the first
too close. Now we're too close, and that's just that's risk. That's sketch. You're lucky he didn't try to go for the apex there.
Yeah. That's why my heart rate was that high.
Yeah, but
And I made a pass in the same general area, but it was about the same.
Yeah,
it's because Stork Jake was getting behind me, just kind of catching up.
Mhm.
So.
So how do I put
Yeah.
this? It is not worth wrecking your car for something that hasn't happened yet. Like as races go, a car can sit literally right on your bumper and they are still behind you. So just because they're catching you doesn't mean they've caught you. And so you need to get by in a safe and easy space so that you can continue to go forward. Because that could have easily ruined your race. 9 times out of 10 that doesn't work. 9 times out of 10 he falls out of the road, or he decides to turn in, or he's a different driver and doesn't see you, or whatever, right? And you smash into him. And so, even though you're trying to finish the race, the urgency to finish the race doesn't make sense to increase the risk to your car in that way. On a driver maybe that you trust, maybe that you're, racing with position in, and you take a bit of a sketch move, that driver will adapt for you, and that's fine. But especially going through a back marker or passing another car, like you're risking your race for no reason, right? Because you cleared them, and there's still plenty of time between you and the cars around you, so you're just giving yourself imaginary pressure for no reason. Right? I had the same challenge with the same car a little later, but I was waiting because I was trying to keep up with Gearson. And so we get here, and I get to him, and I can't go 3 wide here. And so I'm kind of waiting, and I have to go the real long way until he kind of gives up, because I don't want to squeeze this guy, right? If we go back a couple seconds, we're in the same train, same car, same corner, right? I don't want to dive on Gearson, because
Wow, he dove on Gerson, that's for sure.
Right, exactly. So I'm trying to see if I can fit here, but I can't really fit. I could have probably tried to go, but there's a Ferrari on the inside of me. So I stepped over and just left my car sitting over there so he'd see me and then win. But this keeps my car safe, right? Because I don't want to put myself at undue risk. I'm still mad for my own technical error, so I don't want to increase my risk by throwing my car into other cars. I want to get by when it's safe. So that's actually really
And that's usually the fastest way to do it too, when it's safe.
Yeah, when it's safer, you're actually losing less time, right? Because you don't know what the guy behind you is doing. He might be in a panic, right? So you want to get by safely so the guy behind you can panic and screw his race over. That's how you turn a half a second gap into a 5-second gap, right? Because he's like, oh, I gotta dive, I gotta go. No, he fucking doesn't, right? And then he dives into the back marker, and you just drive away, having done nothing else.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think both of us were kind of panicked a little, so we're battling back and forth through the last laps.
Let's see. His other one is at 48.15. Same car, 27.
Is one we already went over from his point of view.
Yeah,
from
that's the
Jake's
one we
point of view.
already watched. That was my
the
aggressive
very
lunge.
last lap, the very last part of the last lap with car I think it's number 6, and mine is 94.
Oh, are you asking me to do it? I was waiting for Larry. I'm sorry. Sorry. It's just not how we do it.
Yeah, I sent 2 to Larry. First one was that, and the other one is one that Jake sent before.
48.15.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, we already watched that one.
Okay.
Yeah, we did this one. We did this one
It's
way early.
before this, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we did this one way early. I'm gonna skip it. Larry, move on, please.
Car 33, lap time is 37.16.
37, 16, somewhere in here. I can count. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, he's trying to let everybody by, but he got tapped. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. He was lifting. He was wanting to know if he should have lifted it or not to let everybody by.
This is the guy that hit Felton, came back on track.
Oh, so this is how this ended up working itself out. I see. Okay.
Missed his brake point, went wide.
I think he's trying to let cars go by here, but this is a hard place to do it.
Really, but not in a corners. That's
oh my
what
god, and
I
then we
had
get
mentioned.
mauled. Yeah. Okay. So, well, so
We're gonna have to go 2 cars back.
Yeah, we are. But before I do that, I mean, let's go here. I don't know if this guy is here, but like, if we miss the corner, I'm just gonna let it go. But if we're trying to let cars by, this is a terrible place to do it, because there's not a lot of space or room for you to use any momentum to get out of the way. You've just become slow, and you're just slow and sitting there. So it makes
And
the
there's
route
a very short straightaway coming up too.
right.
There's no room to make a
There's
pass.
no room to make a pass. Going through turn 10, you have this long straightaway, so you can use your momentum to get around to turn 10 and then release there when cars can just roll by all in a straight line. But here you have a turn before another turn, where now you were just a parked car. So, this is why I'm a big don't jump out of the way kind of proponent. This is a perfect example of why this doesn't work. Because now you're moving really slow and you have a bunch of traffic that is trying to get around you. And now if we go back to the cars behind here, I don't know which ones hit you. Here we go. Yeah. So you've now got an opponent that's trying to catch you because you've given him the opportunity. And traffic is trying to make its way through, and the 27 is trying to make his way through.
Actually, it looks like 775, whoever this is, didn't break in time.
Well, yeah, but I mean, here's the thing though. Like,
Because right there's the braking zone.
Yeah,
He just missed it by the anticipation.
Did we hit him though? I don't know if we hit him. Did we hit him?
Maybe touched him.
Maybe. Let's see. I just want to look up here.
Slow down.
No, it's all good.
I get drunk when this happens.
Oh, I think we do. Yeah.
If he misses him, that's by the thickness of a
millimeter.
dollar bill.
I think we do. Yeah.
That's skill.
I think
that's racing.
Nope, that's touch.
No, we touched him.
No, that's a touch.
Penalty.
We failed. Well, because I was wondering why all of a sudden this car just moved over like this, right? Because it just like yeets over to the racing line like it doesn't care anymore. It's because it.
Look at the difference in the track too. You got really smooth where the black is, and then all of a sudden it's really rough where there's nothing. That's cool.
But part of this. Okay, so there's a bunch of compound issues that are happening here, right? The first issue that we have is we have a back marker that's slowed down in a weird place, right? So that's not the thing I'd prefer to see. However, for this car, we have not adapted to the fact that this car is moving slow, right? And we've tried to brake in our hot lap spot, which doesn't really work, right? So this car's kind of braked where it needs to be. This car has not adapted for this car's braking and is now driving into the back of him, right? So the 775 has also screwed himself because even though he's kind of getting screwed by a slow car in front of him, he hasn't adapted for this change, right? And then we've touched this car just minorly, which has pushed him in the path of another car. And then now we have this whole incident thing that kind of spins him off the road, and these two cars have crashed.
Oh, nosed on. Holy smokes.
So, I think that the 33 was trying to be nice, but in his being nice, actually caused a bigger problem for himself. And then the 7075 just missed his brake by a little bit. Like, it wasn't a sin or anything. It's just, if you have a slow car moving in front of you, you're going to have to give up more than you want. And that's better than, kind of getting run into and a few other things, right? Because I don't know if you lose positions here too, but like, you're just in a high risk area. So you have to kind of slow down, right? It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but in other races, it can become a big deal, right? So it's good to kind of just don't hit the stuff you can see, right? That's kind of mostly where that comes from.
Jay Henry, she's still messing with me, Jay Henry. I always think this is me. Like, why this is not my car? And I'm Henry H.
Yeah, it's the other way around, Jay Henry. Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm like looking.
He does me the same way.
It's the same thing last race. Like, that's not me. Why
are you blaming me? I hate this.
Why the camera? No, why the camera? Like, how come? This, I don't remember. I have no recollection. Yeah. I know I did stupid mistakes, but I don't remember the third mistake.
Yeah. When you start thinking of cars as momentum, and you start thinking of momentum with cars, the results of your actions will become a lot more apparent, right? And so like when you're trying to get out of the way of other cars, you feel like you're being polite, but now you've just given away all your momentum, and the momentum was the thing that was keeping you away from those cars, right? And so then when you all of a sudden slow down, now you're just kind of a parked car in a pack, and you can't reaccelerate. Like, we're all the same type of car, right? So you can't magically like move anymore. Speed was your biggest asset, and you gave it away. So, if we had just waited to do this maybe by 20 seconds, we would have been on a nice little short straight, and it would have been really easy. And then if you got hit after that, that's just someone not paying attention, right? But the risk to your car is way, way lessened than in between two corners, where a bunch of other cars have to do a bunch of other stuff in order to not hit you. So that's why I get all blue flaggy about that sort of stuff. How many more are left, Larry?
Let's see. Well, 1, 5.
Oh God.
No, there's only a couple.
Okay.
Bobby just sent me one. Okay. That's not what I was looking for. There was one that Fagan talked about here. Oh, okay. 2535 car 404. And I'm gonna wait to say what he wrote after we see this.
2535. Sorry.
Car 404.
Oh, hey, actually, when we finish with this one, we should talk about pit stops for a quick second. 2535. Sorry, I'm getting tired. Not
Right
thinking.
there.
2535. Oh yeah, we should talk about this. This actually might be me. Oh no, Fagan, why did we do that?
Did not anticipate him being that slow out the pits,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had to bail.
Now what he wrote was me being a dunce.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
I figured I'd let
But
him
you
say
didn't
it.
hit
but-
him.
I had
No,
a,
he didn't actually.
I had a
I
similar.
didn't, and then I was like, I should sit back, and I was like, maybe he's going fast enough. Oh, he braked. No, okay. And then there was cars already coming behind me, so I was like, let me just bail completely out of this and just leave it be.
No, I get that. I had an opposite instance coming out of the pits. I get we're trying to wait for cars, but we can kind of roll forward a little. So we're coming
I
out.
saw a couple that were like dead
No,
stop
man,
right
they
in the
were
road.
dead stopped here. They were dead stopped here. This is a Lewis Hamilton hitting Kimi Räikkönen incident, right?
Yeah,
Just
I remember
parked,
seeing that.
just parked, and I'm just like, okay, just get out of my way, okay. Right?
Larry, that might be one of them I sent you to. I don't know.
It's possible.
This
Because
one-
some of the guys were helping me watch other cars. We were trying to all watch different areas to get as much
Right.
info as we could for you guys.
No, I
No, I
appreciate it.
appreciate your help too,
Yeah,
man.
give the thanks to the guys that were helping. Right, this one's one of
Okay.
those ones that, like, as you're coming out of the pits. Okay, how do I put this easily? If you're on track, don't hit cars coming out of the pits. If you're in the pits, you can roll out of the track intelligently, but you don't need to come to a stop, right? Because the cars that are coming out of the pits aren't expecting you to not be moving because we're going onto a hot racetrack. So, a slow roll is better than just not moving. Because when I got here, I was just like, why are we parked?
Not only that, you have the right to get on the track.
Yeah. You totally do.
This isn't like trying to merge on an entrance ramp on the highway.
No.
There's no fucking yield sign over there. You're allowed to get up and get going.
Exactly. Well, and also there was just like daylight behind you. So if you had been rolling, you would have lost less time to the cars around you just by rolling onto the track. Like just a little bit of a roll, and just enough of a roll would be just enough for the cars behind you to not get impatient and jump around you, right? Because if you were just slightly kind of feeding your way into the traffic, then I would have had to have waited for you to do that because I'd be like, oh well, they're just merging into traffic. I don't have to wait for you. But when you're parked, I get to race you.
No, Larry, this isn't the one I'm talking about because I
Okay.
think it was Barnes, and they said, like, I don't know, a bunch of cars go by. He was just sitting there.
Yeah, I think Frank that he was a bit overwhelmed of what was coming down the front straightaway.
Yeah, and it's probably just part of learning.
Yeah.
Is that what it was, Frank?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Was I parked on the entrance? I didn't remember.
Well, I
doing
didn't see it.
that.
Some of the guys saw it.
Yeah, but I was
so,
stopped. Yeah, I know better than that. I was panicked, I guess.
No, hey, look, you have to crawl before you walk. That's what we're all doing here.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm just not moving.
Whoa.
Well, no, I'm just not moving, right?
Yikes.
Because I have full throttle on and I'm going, and then because I hit the button, I'm like, throttle.
Oh, is that
throttle,
what happened?
Throttle, nothing, God damn it. Okay, good.
Oh
Now
shit, he's breaking up again.
And so I have to sit there for forever. And I'm just like, God damn it.
Wow.
It sucked.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Let's see.
you can't start the car from a roll.
No,
you have to be sitting still. So
dead stop.
right,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, well, I can't roll into traffic, so I have to stop at the apex because it's the only place I can kind of park my car. And then everyone's just
I wish you could have heard the guys in chat, man. Because they were like, "What is Davin doing? He's just sitting in the track."
Just so mad. I was just like, really. And the
Okay,
worst,
let's
the worst part
see.
is like, just as an FYI for you guys, if that ever does happen for some stupid ass reason, like don't give it much pedal because it doesn't help, right? Like I'm giving it pedal, I'm looking at stuff, I'm flipping switches, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. I should have just flipped open my MFD or just looked at the light on the bottom of the dash that said, "Hey, your car's
Yeah,
running."
my space bar is my ignition.
Yeah.
And so I have to make sure that it's not close under my steering wheel because when I get a little bit crazy, I kind of hit it and do the same thing. That's why it's funny to watch because I thought it was just me.
No, it was me apparently. So yeah, that of course happens to me. Anyway,
Next one, 8:46 on time, car 51.
Okay, 8:46. Car 51. Mr. Snyder. What happened to him? All right.
This is when he and I were battling front to back. I was trying to stay away from Barnes. Now he's on the dirty side of the track here, trying to get in and around. I think Frank got loose right there in front of him.
Yep.
He may have been trying to find me because I lost it coming down this hill. That's one of the reasons why I was so goddamn far back. I started in 10th and ended up last. Which
Yeah,
really
'cause last
started
time I
throwing
saw
me
you, you
off.
were doing good and then you disappeared.
Well, it's right about here is where the car got sideways and it did a tank slapper all the way down the hill.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck me, not now.
Right.
Well, let's see. Okay, so 10:28, car 43.
All right, 10:28.
Car 43.
Where's car 43? Oh, there we are. Oh yeah.
That's me. That's me. That's Frank Martin.
If there was a tiniest of touches, I think I saw that happen.
Yeah, right? All right.
It was one of
It's a
those.
Ferrari. He deserved it.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Oh no! Ooh,
That was
it's just a
netcode.
collision model.
Yeah, that's
hitbox.
That's
He
netcode.
just missed him.
Hitbox.
Yeah.
Little misjudgment there.
Well, the thing is you couldn't have gotten any closer without touching him, Frank. I mean,
yeah.
If you were any further, if you were far enough back, you would have put a dollar bill in there, and it would have fit.
Yeah.
Just the thickness of it, because I mean, the touch here is so minor.
Yeah, this is a netcode thing. This is.
That's like your arrow just barely lifted the back of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, the collision boxes they make for these are square or rectangular. So
curved, yeah.
And then you have net code and everything else. And this is all stuff I've learned the hard way doing stuff that winds up looking stupid.
And then the last one he has is 25:03 on time, and then car 7:09.
All right, 25:03. Car 79.
No, 7:09.
Oh, no, that's a different number. Car 709. Where are we?
It was at the bottom.
There we go, Mr. Ducker. Let's see what happened to you.
By the way, the color of this car is amazing when you're this close in first person.
Oh, I like that.
And the
It
thing
looks
is,
like stuff I've seen in diapers.
But it changes while he's driving, and it's really weird because I see how everything brightens up.
Yeah.
And then it gets darker depending on the light.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the graveyard. What are we looking for?
Oh, I don't know. Tom was just he had numbers, and I went by those.
Oh, okay. Well, this car is a funny color. That's
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's the other one I wanted to do. Car 775 at 4050. He says it's a bizarre move by a lapped car.
Oh, all right. Well, you're a bizarre move by a lap car. Yep, that's trying to fix the mistake that Sika,
That's
like,
one of those, if you brake late, go left.
yeah, hey,
I was dodging people all night, man.
yeah, right? Do you want to go and get a lottery ticket with me? Like, jeez.
He shot the gap, that's for sure.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, that was our Henry. Henry, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, going left would have been smarter here. Because you only still got 2 cars. Okay.
Yeah, you always want to aim for the place where the cars are not going to go.
It is hard because out of reflex, you want to go to this open, empty space, right? Like,
Right,
you know,
but that's not open when the
no.
other car gets there.
No, exactly.
Oh wow. Ron says 37-minute car 13. He says down the straight with Boyd behind me. He is on the inside and gaining on me. I am ahead by the brake zone. He backs out, but I sensed him, so I created a lane. But the outside lane doesn't have much grip, and I go wider than I thought. He hugs the inside and passes me. Had I taken the regular line, I would have been ahead. So a mistake of mine.
That is a Ron question. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's every time Ron brings something, I have to wait about 10 minutes to figure it out.
I was actually going to bring this one up, so I'm glad he did.
It's all good. It's all good. All right. So are we looking at the 111 that's chasing you? Okay, let's do that. I want to see both cars.
He's got the run on him. You outbraked yourself there, Ron.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, I think see, what I was saying is, I think if I had just taken my line, I would have been fine. He
Right.
actually,
But
but because I decided to go wide and there's no grip out there.
Right. Yes. 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 Yeah.
If I had just gone for the apex, I'd have been absolutely fine.
Yep.
Yeah. And only on replay I noticed, oh, he was nice to me. He backed out because he realized I was a little ahead of him. But at the time, I thought, oh, he's right there.
I wouldn't have called that a mistake. I would have called that a sensible judgment move, given that you don't know the guy very well, right? Because as many times as I've had people slow down for me so that I don't get killed, I've also been killed down here. And so, you know, you don't really know if this guy's on a sin because you can't see him, right? So you don't know if he's going in with gusto. You don't know if he's really slowing down.
I do know he's gaining on me. I felt that.
Right.
Yeah, had a good run.
So, like, if you had turned in, you would have probably made it. You're probably right in retrospect. But in the moment, please don't hit my car, right?
Yeah.
Should he have taken like a defensive line there, or was he like right to keep it on the outside, try to widen it out?
Oh, he was right to keep it on the right side. Yeah, that would have been fine. I mean, he probably should have slowed down a little earlier and probably tried to get closer to the car in front of him or behind him. He's going to want to do that, right? Because right now he's just opening this barn door, right? We're not even going in the direction of the corner. So, I mean, if I'm the 111, I'm just.
Well, that was my intent. My intent was actually to give him a full lane, right? I wanted to actually give him. I thought he might have been ahead of me, right? So I said, give him a full lane, but then there's no grip out there, and so I just went out further.
There's a
Show him what a full lane looks like there, Davin.
Let me see if I can find one. The
right there.
Yeah.
That's 2 lanes.
That's 2 lanes. That's 2 lanes.
Because you got to remember, it's only 1 car width. You don't have to give him extra.
No, and there's a rule with hairpins. Every foot you give, you have to give back, right? So if this was 10 feet wide, if you go down a foot and come back a foot, you've made a 10-foot corner or a 12-foot corner. So when you give a lot of space like this is like giving 4 feet, right? So you've now turned a 10-foot corner to an 18-foot corner, and he's just going to drive by. Right?
Yeah.
And it'll happen every single time. So you have to get better at managing the car and being able to pull it closer to the car near you. So even if there is a touch, it'll just be like, dunk, dunk. And it's like, okay, look, whatever. Right? I know where he is now. So
Devin, could you like back it up like 5 or 10 seconds?
Sure.
Like,
and when you get on the power on that dirty stuff, you're not going to have any grip either. So it just all goes to crap.
So should he be like floating to the right and going on the inside to kind of block, or is he right to kind of stay to the left and try to go, keep his speed and racing line and all that?
Well, so Ron can make one move, right? So he can go wherever he wants to go the first time, but he can't go back. So he has some options. He can either float his car over right now and stop him from going there, right? That's a very totally valid move, right? But he can't weave back then after that. So if he decides he's got to drive all the way down to the bottom, he's got to brake in a sensible place there, and he's got to turn. I did that to Boyd during practice for a while, right? But I can't weave to the left again and then weave back to the right again. That's illegal. But the first move he makes, totally within his right to do. It kind of depends on how fast Ron thinks he is, right? If
I thought I had a bad exit, and I knew you were catching me, right?
Yeah.
And then I was trying to think of what am I going to do here. I go, this is because we'd been battling for a while. I'd been holding him off, and I think like, oh, this is where he's going to pass me.
So if he had a bad exit, like since he didn't have enough speed, he probably should have placed his car to the right to
Probably
stop.
should have placed his car to the right.
Yeah, I should have moved over because I was ahead enough, you know.
I want to comment on this because I had multiple laps with Arjun in the silver race like this. So you need to make a judgment call. How fast is the other guy catching you? And then decide which side you are going to go. Like I fought with Arjun multiple laps, and sometimes I stayed on the normal line because I thought I was far enough that he doesn't get overlap and I can take the corner and it's my corner. And then on some laps I went to the right because I figured that he's catching too fast, he's going to get an overlap, I'm going to lose the corner. But it's a judgment call, and you just have to practice and kind of
this
build.
practice is helpful.
And you have to declare a side of the track early, not in the braking zone, well before the braking zone.
Well before, because I mean, if you wanted to, Ron, if you really, really, really wanted to, you could have just chopped all the way over if you wanted to, right? But the risk is that the 111, you did it too early, and the 111 just uses its momentum to drive by you. So if you had chopped all the way to the right, just to like, I'm going to defend the inside, no matter what happens, he could just roll right by you, and you're not allowed to go back to stop that. So you need to make a judgment call early, and like being in the middle is a good way to split the difference, right?
Yeah, no,
Because
I think if in retrospect, if early, because I could sense he was really catching up, I should have slid over to the middle and just made him choose,
Make him
right?
choose,
And
yeah. Make him choose. Make him choose. Right?
yeah, but it ended up being that actually I still was a little ahead of him, which actually, but no, I could see it on radar, so maybe we would never know.
Yeah, but ahead and off the apex is shitty, right?
Right,
Like,
because it's a good chance that we get hit.
yeah,
right?
it's just like a swinging open barred door in the wind, right? So like you get down to the bottom part of the corner, and like I don't care that you're ahead of him because you're just going the wrong way, and now he's ahead of you, and that sucks.
No. I mean, I was ahead of him at the brake zone, right? And actually, what I noticed was that, Boyd, I think you backed out. You did the right. You were very nice to me. You actually just said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're ahead of me." You backed out.
I thought I had it, and I was like, you know what, I might not make it, so I'm going to
You had,
slow
yeah,
down.
you could have had it.
Yeah, you honestly could have had it, and you also could have crowded him if you really wanted to, right? So if you weren't so nice, right, you go down in the brakes and you go and break down with Ron, and you leave Ron out in the dirty stuff, and you laugh at him, and you drive around the corner and you drive away, right? And you keep him out on the dirty side on the outside of the track too, right? Just make his life a living hell, right? You were very nice.
So I got a question on this. For the defending driver who's in front, how far to the inside should they go? Because I've been in similar situations where I think I'm over trying to block the inside, but then they go even further inside.
Well, that's their fault for not knowing where their car is supposed to go, right? So the
So,
risk
like, where here?
Part of this is going to be a judgment call of the guy you're racing, right? Because I can't drive his car for him. So if I am, let's say, a quarter of the way in, enough that he has to make a decision whether to go left or right, he could still go right, and that's a terrible choice, right? Because it's driving to the bottom of the corner. It's going to make it really hard to turn. He's going to have to stop really early, right? So I can go back to the racing line and watch him careen into oblivion. That's his own fault for doing that, right? And I have people doing that to me all the time. They'll get a run on me out of the corner, and they'll just try to dive to the bottom of the corner, and I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, guess this is happening, right?
Can I break the rules for a second?
Sure.
I know you're not supposed to call out stuff, but if you want to show what the defending car could have done, if you go to 4650 with you and I, it's the exact same situation.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Let's see, 4650, and boop. Yeah, because you and I had a bit of a tussle near the end there. Let's see here. Boop. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, this was fun.
Bye-bye.
No, he undercuts me totally fine.
Over and under. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Bye-bye. It's an over and under.
Because I outbrake myself by a little too much. And take it from his point of view, back up a bit.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go for the move, and so I either thought, okay, it's better to end up right behind you or get lucky and make the switch.
Yeah, and I released the brake a little too early there. And, then I just rolled right by, and I was like, shit.
I did the exact same thing. I outbroke myself and went between two cars there too.
Yeah.
And y'all notice how
And then I tried it
Gearson's kind
again,
of
and then I'm
staying
like,
over to the
shit.
left?
Yeah. Yeah, we saw that earlier. You
Yeah,
showed us
but
that.
this is a smart move to do from Gearson, right? Because, you know, probably because I did it the first time, I probably shouldn't have, but I did anyway. This gives him enough time to be like, well, Davin's stupid.
That's
And
where
then just
Fagan decided to get the hell out of the way.
yeah, but he puts his car in a safe spot, right?
Excuse me. See
Yeah,
ya.
and then turns, and then I have to sit there. What was frustrating for me is that like I would fall off the road, and then like a lap later, I would be right back again. So I was irritated with myself because I wasn't using my pace very effectively. Because I would catch back up pretty much like right after, and I'm like, God damn it, because now here I am again, right? And I'm like, son of a bitch. If I had a couple more laps, I could figure it out, but I don't. So anyway, all right, how many do we have left, Larry?
Done, as in finished.
Yes.
Wait, there's one last one from
Damn
me.
it. Yeah, no, what's up?
I'm trying to find where's. Oh, okay. Hang on. Here's one. I have to read this first. It says, "Where are we going?"
No, the one after that, because he
Okay.
already showed it.
All right. So, okay. I thought we were supposed to keep going. 4847 with Fagan's car 404.
Well, we're already here.
AKA almost murdering you.
Oh.
It's always you, Devin.
It is always you, yeah. It is. You'll have to make it up to me.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'll call out someone I need you to assassinate the next time I'm leading a race. Just be like, Fagan, do the thing. Oh my god. Wow. You know, it's funny too, because as I pulled over, I saw your car coming, and I was like, sure,
No,
yeah,
not really.
no, okay. I saw it in my rear view, and I was like, I'm just returning to your garage. I'm not going to do this right now.
Just as a side note, thank you guys for hanging out. You guys don't have to hang out this long with us, but I appreciate the fact that you do.
Yeah.
We're all here to learn. Y'all had a great race. We did have some bumps and bruises. We did some really good stuff. And I'm out for the night. I've got work at 4:30 in the morning. Y'all have a great time.
I'm going with Larry, guys. Y'all
Just so you
looks
know.
like y'all had a good time.